Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the wild landscape of Scotland. And today we're joined by a special guest, the channel DJ. And today we've come to a cool abandoned location that I've never seen before on the channel. And we've just literally, when we pulled up, we need to get to the other side of this valley in the distance because there's an old abandoned farm croft. But when we arrived we could see the shepherd boy total out here on his quad and stuff, so yeah, we don't know if we'll even be able to get to this place without getting chased away. Often like a farmer could have a shotgun or something with him, and you just do not want to mess with a farmer, folks. But on this mission we're just wanting to basically document the abandoned history of Scotland here and see what we can see. But it's one of these missions that we're just going full send into the wild terrain. Our first obstacle is this steep hill, and then that burn. There's like a little stream. Look, it looks easy to cross there. We could head down here and along there and then up the hill and along. We're reading the land, folks, getting the best route possible for this adventure, and it's just crazy conditions. The thing is, once we've been, we could come back a different route even. Anyway, let's get into this, folks. This is like steeper than 45 degree right now. This is an absolute mad scene, folks. I don't know if the steepness of this comes out on the video. Look, there's an old metal pipeline there. Here we go, folks. The sun's shining down here and we're just away to make our way across these stones. I just hope I don't slip. Wow, it's always safer on the stones which the sun's shining on because they're dry and grippy. Yes, we've made it. We need to just kind of go this direction, folks. Look, it must be an animal path here. We'll follow the animal path. This mission is an absolute madness, folks. We're infiltrating the perimeter here. We saw the fireman in his tractor at the far side, but we didn't know if he saw us. It's the sort of bit, if they saw you walking in, they would never know that you were going to record and document history. Almost gone and lost forever. Again, the first thing that farmers think when you're coming in is that you're there to steal something. Whoa! I slipped there, but look, my foot didn't even get wet. I can't believe it. I was so lucky. Yeah, there's so much history on this land here. It'll be cool to come and document this croft and see what history remains of it. Because there's sheep and stuff up here and there'll be lambing soon, we're obviously here with the greatest respect. Kind of like the landowner and the farm owner. And we're just wanting to see this old building. See, it's like old British farming heritage, this sort of place. Judging from the lie of the land, I'm not sure if it had a waterway feeding like a water wheel or whatever. Here, you just slipped there, eh? I don't know if it came on, don't know if you could see that on the video there, folks. You managed to stay dry though, eh? It's not too bad. I thought I could hear a quad coming. Sorry man, I fell. I fell over there, nearly knocked Child DJ down the hill. Whoa! This ground is crazy, folks. What an adventure. See, a lot of this stone is raw on the hill here from the glaciation period, but you can see other lines which are old like farm field boundaries, probably from when this croft was in its prime. I noticed this croft like probably last year at this time, but it was like you have to wait for the right conditions to come to a place like this. If there's cows and stuff in the field, you can't be coming in and upsetting farm operations. The landscape here is just incredible with these views. Wow. It's a proper buzz coming to these adventures as well, folks. The risk of getting chased or whatever, it's just an adrenaline rush for sure. I'm not sure how much is left of this place either, but it looks amazing. We can see it at the top of the hill now. This has been a classic adventure, folks, travelling over that wild terrain to get to a bit of history, document a building that's never been seen before on YouTube, never been recorded on the channel before, And here we are, we've made it to the perimeter. We can see the sheep across there. There in the next field. And we've come all the way from probably like that tree line. Oh, look at the view over the valley. Check this out, folks. This is the sort of history that makes the adventure worth it. Here we can see the original water wheel. We've been to a lot of places recently that would have had the wheel pit, which would have looked like this, but look, the water wheel's still in position. Massive cast iron structure. It looks like there's steps that go down there. No way, check it out, folks, and look at the drive going through the wall there. There is some of the remains of the wood on the water wheel, and you can see the paddles. Some of these were overshoot and some of them were underslung with the water, depending on what they were. This one looks like the water was coming off the hill from up there somewhere. Looks like the water's maybe been running in a few ways, and then it must have come under here to power this. Wow, folks, crazy history. We hate to watch it because that's heavy cast iron there. And bits of it could fall and crush you, like. But it's crazy, look how the trees growing around the massive drive. Shows you how long it's been abandoned.
Even this branch.
Yeah, wow. The branch is literally through the metal. Look at the big gear. You can actually see one side of the teeth's more worn than the other. And that shows the way it was turning. It was the downside of the gear there that was wearing, doing all the work. Wow, the big square bolts and stuff like that, folks. It's mad all these places exist. There's one of the big chunks of cast iron, like, it's just crazy. Probably British built metal foundries in Scotland here, which are just gone now. You see the shape where most likely it was wooden paddles that was in those bitties. Turning the water wheel, it's just blowing my mind, eh? Getting to see this, it's so cool, so special. Look at the big end, like, bracket. And this is the bit where the wheel's like digging into the tree, which just shows the trees growing around it. And look at that there. That is crazy, folks. The tree is at one with the ancient history here. And that must be the mill shed right there. Can you see where it comes in? Oh, this must have been the original little entrance there. There's been a wee door, and then there would have been a little roof. And that would have been the wheel shed. I must have leaned in some bird turds there, folks.
It's just the path. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, but the water must have come down from this angle somehow. Kind to turn it. And then it must have just returned down that channel. And from the distance we theorised that this is what might have been here, eh? Because we saw the water channel leaving here. Yeah, this is the road that we saw the shepherd going down earlier. It's just a mad scene out here, folks. We're wanting to document this. This is the old farm croft house over at this side. Here, well, we'll have a look in the mill shed first to see if there's any remains of the old mill. Look at the size of these big lintel stones here. Oh look, there's more remains of history here. Big chunks of cast iron. Must have been the mill drive wheel driven from the water wheel. Oh look, there's been a wee window there. Oh, see the character of the old stonework, built with the rough stone from the hill. Stood here for hundreds of years. A croft like this will date back to the 1700s for sure. The early days of Scottish agriculture. Look, the wood's rotted away and all this mechanism's just dropped where it was. Even the water wheel now is lower down than its original height. Yeah, look at that, there must be another gear down there somewhere that drove between. But it's the same with this, you can see how one side of the gear is super worn. That would have been the drive side. And it just shows this mill was a busy, thriving mill for a long time, and it would have ground up a lot of grain. Here we go again, look at the wear on this. See, this was just pretty much kaput by the end of its days. The wear on those teeth is just unreal. That's the kind of detail I love. It's not just seeing the history, it's like getting an idea of what it did. And you can just tell for a place like this, it's been a busy, busy mill. Look at that brick, it's got a bolt through it still. And look, there's another one of those pinion gears with a massive shaft. And look at this here. See what I'm thinking? That shaft there maybe sat vertical and then it's fallen in. And this would have been the shaft here which came into the building. And this was the side which was farthest into the building. It's old cast iron, it's hard to even see. Just imagine that in its prime, the day it was first fitted and installed brand new. Think what colour it might have been painted and how happy the farmer must have been.
The building would have been built around it, eh? That would have got the top.
Yeah.
And then the building built around it.
Yeah, they would have built it for their mill shed, eh? And it's crazy, there's one single rafter hanging there.
Check there.
That wood. Yeah, it's unusual, eh? It's been in there for some reason. There must have been a heap of those though, battens to hold up that other floor. Oh, not unless the loft went from there down. Because there's no other sign of it in here. It's hard to know. But then I suppose the floor might have been sitting on top of posts or something that was internal. So many years has passed, places like this have been abandoned, it's crazy just picking back the layers. Yeah, so this has been a door. And this is an unusual bit, there must have been a proper front wall, but I don't think it was right here. Yeah, it's like this building maybe has been a different shape. This must be from another building that's been taken down around here somewhere. So you can see the difference in the stone, the sandstone there. Massive old sandstone lintel. What a view from this farm. It's like the farm I was at last week. It's like magical. Yeah, there's been a door or something mounted on there. Often they would put the metal in and then pour lead in around it to hold it. That's what you see on a lot of old constructions. Yeah, what a mad scene. Look, there's a metal hook on the wall for some reason there. Check it out, folks. For some reason there's been a metal hook chapped in there. Well, I nearly dropped the camera there. That would have been a disaster. Anyway, let's head over and look at the old Croft house. There's really no much of it left. And it's probably from a time, like, maybe even before this mill was in use, that was abandoned. Because it looks in a sorry state. So this must have been the main farmyard here at one time. I'm just trying to imagine how it may have looked in like 1760. Just think of the horse and carts rolling in here. It must have been a busy, hustling, bustling environment. And I can see there's a lot of stones here. There's maybe been more to it here. But first of all, I'm wanting to have a look at this house. And then we'll take a look over there. That's maybe been the old farmer's garden there. What a special place, folks. There's a lot of tin and corrugated iron abandoned here, so it's probably like in the storms and stuff, the roof will have blown down. You get some mad, crazy storms out here on the hill. I'm just staying low key as well, because the farmer's down there feeding cows like one field over. See, this was maybe used as like a bit of a shepherding hut for a long time, but originally you can imagine it was the little farmhouse, the main Croft house. And the people that worked that Waterwheel were probably in here. After a hard day's work, they would come in and get their bowl of stovies. It's an absolute mad scene. I was hearing a noise, but it's the tin. The corrugated iron's rattling with the wind. Wow, what a crazy place this has been. The front wall and stuff's just about totally down, and that's how I love doing these videos. It's like documenting history before it's gone forever. Future generations can look back and see what was here on the hill at one time. keeps the history alive, but also it's cool just to see what's here. Wow, there's another house just literally like right there, but I'm going for it. I want to get a shot of this place for the front. Check it out, folks. Another crazy scene of history right here. Wow. From where I am now, I can just be seen from right over this valley. Yeah, this must be the old farm garden here at this point. These trees were most likely planted when this farm was thriving, because it looks like they're oak trees. They're good hardwood trees here, so they would take so long to grow. Yeah, it's an interesting bit. I do apologise for any wind in this episode, folks. There's an extreme kind of wind because we're on top of the hill right here. Oh, this is mad. I'm just seeing the view over the edge. It's been cool to come and document that though. That water wheel and stuff, it's just made it worthwhile. You get an essence of the sort of water wheel that would be like at that Memes Mill and that a few weeks ago. And then even last week when I was at that abandoned farm, we found the big massive melon stone. And that would have been the sort of melon stone that would have been here at this farm at a certain time. Getting powered from that wheel, you can see it's been working from the wear on the old cast iron. What a place. It's been so cool to walk about here though and just see what we've seen. More history documented in Angus, folks. It's like crazy. The adventure to come here has just been so cool. Folks, I can hear the dogs barking in the distance, and I think the shepherd up here has got 2 collie dogs. So we're now making our way away for this adventure. It's been cool to see what we've seen. And that was all we wanted to see. This little bit of history documented for the world to see. Shows you how a little Scottish farm used to operate. That would have been the latest industrial technology in the farming game at a certain time. So I just dropped my camera right into the sheep doo-doos there, folks. But we're back in action now. I was just taking one last look in here before we go, because on hindsight I believe this may have just been at this height. I thought it had originally dropped. Obviously it's dropped a bit when it broke, but I think it's had a drive from there going up, and then the mill wheel would have been driven from the higher height. Look at that stone. I wonder if it's flipped round when the bit fell down above it. Another thing I can see, this wall here is just leaning right out. That's another reason it's worth recording all this stuff now. It's crazy. Every weekday we just keep finding more mad scenes like this. It's crazy, and it's such a good adventure. Look at this over here, folks. It's like paradise. So you can see from this incredible bit of ground here, folks, this waterway leading down would have been cleaned out like a proper channel at one time, and that was for the water flowing away from that incredible water wheel. And that was like about a year ago we drove past, or a good while ago, we noticed that channel in the ground, and that was what made us think there was a water wheel there. It's always interesting just to piece those pieces of history together. Kind of scar on the land can actually give you the answer to a bit of history, and it just shows it's been a thriving farm that at one time. A lot of the water wheels I've found on adventures, they're not as worn as that. That one was properly worn out like. Yeah, there's a lot of sheep doo-doos out here, isn't there? The landscape around here is so special, folks. It's like mad scenery, crazy wildlife, and in the middle of it all, mad history as well. Check this out, folks. We're jumping from this stone over the fence. Barbed wire fence, lad. Full sand. Don't even think about it. That's what it's all about on these adventures, folks. Negotiating the terrain. This is one of these parts of the adventure, folks. We're retracing our footsteps the way we came in, and we can't even believe this is the way we came. so steep, we can hardly even navigate it. This is what the adventure's all about though, folks. You find little corners of Scotland and see things that you've never seen before. The wild landscape as well as the mad history. It's crazy. I'm using these trees here as an aid in my descent here. What a mad scene, folks, that was crazy. Then this little stream here meandering its way through the valley. This stream would have probably created this whole valley, which is mad to think about. I'm keeping it rolling for this bit, folks, in case we fall in. Yes, we made it. Right, folks, that's us just about back at the car. What a crazy adventure it was. Once again, stepping back into history, documenting more crazy wild bits of landscaping. What a mission it was. We've just navigated this steep gorge and we're gassed. Anyway, I'm going to end this one here, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye for me, goodbye for the channel DJ, and we'll catch you very soon for the next adventure.